Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about character. From the second that we came into the world with a cry, from the first step that we learned to walk, from the morning that we woke up and realized that we are already in the classroom, we are constantly changing. It happens every day, every moment, everywhere. Being contented with school and daily challenges, I barely put any attention on the people around me. Everything was focused on myself, about how to improve myself to fit into the environment. However, I tended to neglect a rather crucial step of becoming an adult and leaving childhood behind, which is drawing experiences from helping others. My mom always treats me like an adult. She never loses her faith in me and holds a belief that I have the ability to handle things by myself. However, I never treated myself as an adult. Unlike the majority of other kids who are accompanied by their parents until they move on to colleges, I left my family when I was only 12. I was sent to Singapore and lived with my aunt there. During my teenage life in Singapore, I barely participated in any extracurricular activities in the 5 years I was there. Doing well in order to impress my parents was always my priority. Soon after I graduated, I flew across the Pacific Ocean and arrived in a remote town with jet lag, new friends, and new environment, which seemed rather challenging to me. Once again, I could pay even less attention in making friends or getting myself involved within the community. Being born and raised in Asia country made me do well in school academically, but gave me less social opportunities such as community service. Social interaction becomes a luxury. The entire academic system is based on results instead of various experiences. Since entering Lumiere, I started to notice a huge difference that has impacted me while social experiences become important. A certain number of community service hours is required for every student in order to graduate, and it also aims to benefit others in our school and community. I was conflicted by the feeling that I had for sorry, I during the summer of my junior year, through research, I had gotten a chance to volunteer at a summer camp which was organized by a Chinese studies organization. At the beginning, I was conflicted by the feeling I had for the job because I wanted to help at a tutoring center for English. However, I ended up teaching in Chinese, which was the last thing I wanted to do. Despite my lack of enthusiasm, I still passed the interview and became an official volunteer at a Chinese summer camp. I was the teacher of discipline of the just fun class, but basically meant taking care of the children as a nanny. According to the schedule, the children were supposed to wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, and I was responsible for waking them up, which means that I would have to wake up even earlier than 6 a.m. On top of that, there was no internet access, no air conditioner, and no TV to watch the World Cup. There were, however, mosquitoes and a bunch of kids who were chirping around among themselves like a flock of sparrows. Being the youngest child at home, I was well taken by my family. It was almost an impossible task for me to take care of other kids who were only a few years younger than me. How could I look after children when I was still a child? During the first few days, I snuck to the dorm to get away whenever there was a chance, which led to complaints from other teachers. Obviously, the teacher in charge couldn't manage to calm down the kids and teach the class at the same time. My disappearance had obviously disturbed the older in class. Miss Joe, who was the organizer of the summer camp and was busy preparing for the lectures, had to be bothered by the complaints and take care of the situation by herself. Without a doubt, I was caught due to my irresponsibilities. Miss Joe did not get angry, but patiently reminded me that the initial intention of my presence in the camp was to benefit others but not to relax. Of course, I should not consider how I would benefit from volunteer work to convince myself to do it. Instead, I should consider how others will benefit. My presence and help in their lives could make a difference. I had never expected anyone else besides my mom to teach me a life lesson. From that day forward, I started to pay more attention to the kids, and I could sense a transition in myself from being indifferent to being thoughtful and looking after the children. I will fill up their water bottles in the morning to make sure they did not dehydrate in the hot weather. I will check the air conditioner to ensure it is not too cold at night. I will text all the parents after the kids went to bed and inform them if anything had happened during the day. Surprisingly, the kids in this summer camp started to hang out with me during their free time and share with me their little stories. I was no longer being egocentric but took up my responsibilities instead. I was used to receiving guidance from others, but now proudly being someone who can be looked up to by youngsters. As time went by, I earned their trust to the point that they began confiding in me many of their concerns, or other times they just liked to talk to me about their dreams. I became not only their teacher but also their mentor and a good friend. During the class-wide meeting, while all the parents were on campus, Miss Cho affirmed my contribution to the summer camp. It was the first time I was ever proud of myself because I have persisted through the 10 days of camping life. And yes, also evoked my self-realization of being responsible for things I have committed to, as well as being selfless in helping others. I doubt that without this job, I would not have come to the conclusion that I was surrounded by love and care. By contributing to the community that I was grew up in, I was concerned in building bonds with the children, and I believe that the 10 days of volunteering has given me much more than I gave to the children, leading me to become a more responsible and sensible adult. In the beginning, as I was telling you, I used to be only concerned about myself and think that I had no time for others. Some of you might not be concerned with this now. You are capable of doing it right from now onwards. Pay a little more attention on your friends, teachers, and family. Be generous to someone who needs help or even just be more considerate in this community. Because no one ever becomes poor by giving. Thank you.